Hi, I'm Pastor Tay of the Titus 2 Ministry and PastorTay.com. Welcome to Espresso. It's an interactive Bible study that is like espresso, strong and smooth. Enjoy the taste. Hey, marriage builders. I'm Pastor Tay, founder of the Titus 2 Ministry, and it is good to be with you tonight, Tuesday night. Talk Live Tuesday. This is something that we've been doing for a number of years where we've been presenting to you various marriage topics, making it interactive, taking your questions and your comments. Hope you're doing well tonight under the circumstances. I know this is a very difficult time for all of us, and so wanted to just spend this time with you and continue to share insights and give you value as life goes on, right? Things are not supposed to shut down. I know a lot of things have, but our life, our marriage, our family should not shut down. And as you press on, we would love to help you. And so if you are seeing this, let me check and see if it is working. All right. Let me refresh my screen because I would love to interact with you tonight. This is Talk Live Tuesday. We come to you every Tuesday, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, and it looks like it's working, okay? So let's keep on going here. I'm going to close some tabs on my laptop, and let's continue our conversation. If you see the live feed, would you jump on in and say hello? Love to see if the scroll is working. And you know what? I know this is a difficult time. If nobody jumps in, I'm still going to keep on talking because some of you guys will catch it on the replay. And you know what? If you do that, you're still welcome to drop your comments and your questions, and we will get back to you. That's the beauty of the live feed, is that you don't have to catch it live. But if you are there, come on out and say hello. But before we get started, just give me a couple minutes to go over the logistics and bring you up to speed. So this is a program called Talk Live Tuesday, where it is live, and all of these presentations or conversations are archived in a tab called Units, and that tab is above you if you're watching this on a mobile device, talking about phones, tablets. Scroll a little bit up and you'll see the menu tab up there called Units. Go there and you will see years of archived videos and conversations. And if you're watching this on a laptop or desktop, that menu tab is to your left. And so go ahead and look over there and you will see that there are four main categories. Now we do have several special categories, but as far as Talk Live Tuesday is concerned, there are four major categories. They are communication, conflict, in-laws, and sex. And so these are the four major ones that encompass kind of what marriage is. And so we started a few years ago to present to you conversations that are organized under these four topics. And so communication, conflict, in-laws, and sex, we go through them one by one. And then once we're done, we start all over again. So it essentially becomes a 4-week rotation. All right. How are you guys tonight? Hope you guys are well. So, you know what? I'm going to try to keep it short, about 20 minutes, so that not too much information is given in one video. And the reason for that is so that you can easily retrieve exactly what you're looking for. And so we're talking about in-laws tonight. And so I'm going to cover two important points about that, and hopefully you will be able to access it very easily. So we've been talking about in-laws, and I want to say as we begin that it's so easy to blame the in-laws for all the trouble. Historically, you blame the mother-in-law or you blame the father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. And so I'm assuming, especially as we have almost 1,000 members in the Marriage Builders, that we've got some in-laws in there. In fact, isn't everybody an in-law? And so as you think about that, we want to take a moment and look at ourselves, because that's always the beginning of conflict resolution, and see what role we have played in the situation, okay? And so I'm working my way through many of these important topics, and right now we're talking about the married couple, okay? So let me talk about the married couple. That's you. And for a minute, put aside the mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother, sister-in-law, and all the other in-laws, and focus on you. And what we're going to do is tonight, I'm going to continue talking about why you might feel pressures and obligations, and how those things can lead to anxieties or depression and things like that. So it's all kind of interconnected and very complicated. So tonight, I want to give you some more insights. You know, we started a while ago talking about this, just working our way through, and in the previous in-law video, we talked about how the couple, and again, we're not talking about the mother-in-law, father-in-law right now, but the couple, the married couple, can have a negative attitude. And so that's the previous one on in-laws. You can take a look at that. And we also talked about how the couple can be uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. And so take a look at that. That was a good conversation. So if you have any questions, you can drop them right now in the comments below. But let me just check one more time and make sure that everything is working. And if it is, we are going to jump into new material tonight. So I'm just want to make sure that the scroll is working, okay? It looks like it is. So let's keep on going tonight. And it says here that there's a comment that came through. I'm not sure. Would you just give me just 1 second? Just want to, take care of things. So somebody writes, he can't listen right now and we'll pick it up later. Hey, totally get it. Especially right now with all the things that are going on. I get it that you're all busy, and I'm not gonna, pressure you or anything. Come on in or any of that kind of stuff. I get it. I hope that you can benefit from this later on. But let's go into some new material tonight. So again, just looking and tracking, and we covered, again, couples can have a negative attitude. The couple can be uncomfortable. And so tonight, new material is the couple can feel pressures and obligations. Now I want you to think with me. Right now, I asked you not to think about the mother-in-law or the father-in-law. And so I mean that. I want to talk to you about pressures and obligations that you feel, and the mother-in-law and the father-in-law had nothing to do with it. They didn't say anything to you. They may be the nicest people in the world, but for whatever reason, and we'll talk about that, you feel pressures. You feel obligations. So these things are very real. Again, we don't want to automatically blame the mother-in-law, automatically blame any of the in-laws, but there are pressures sometimes that are self-generated. You know what I mean? Tell me if you understand. Give me a thumbs up and drop your comments and your questions below. And if this prompts you and triggers, I want to say before I forget that you're welcome to contact me for a free conversation, and I can help you diagnose the situation. But why don't we try right now to diagnose some of these things? So again, to confirm, these are not pressures and obligations that the in-laws put on you. These are self-generated. So let me just give you some examples and see if any of these things resonate with you. And if you have some that I have not mentioned, great. Just drop them in the scroll and we can have a conversation about that. So here's a short list of pressures and obligations. The first one is to spend holidays together. Now, as a married couple, you might be very sensitive to that. And, there's always a holiday around the corner, right? Mother's Day, Father's Day, Thanksgiving, that's a big one. Christmas, New Year's, even Easter Sunday. Hey, can we throw in Super Bowl Sunday? That's turned into like a major holiday to get together. So these are big food events, and you can feel all kinds of pressure. So you as a couple, You might have your own plans that you would like to do. For example, you might be thinking, well, it'd be nice to spend Thanksgiving just by ourselves. But then you feel all kinds of pressures and obligations. That's the hot topic that is on the table. Again, it's self-generated. Nobody said anything to you, but you just kind of feel it because it's part of traditions and expectations. And so all kinds of tensions and awkwardness can develop, and let's confirm, we're not blaming any of the in-laws. Now, we'll talk about them later, okay? I'm not saying that they're always innocent, but I'm just saying for now, for this conversation, we want to say that what you're facing might be just inside you, okay? And understandably so, because holidays, traditions create all kinds of pressures that come upon you, okay? So spending holidays together is what we were talking about. Sending grandchildren over, that seems like the proper etiquette. And so they might not say anything, but you just sort of feel it like, wow, it's been about a month, 2 months, and you want to check in and you want to send the kids over to play. There might be some bigger obligations that you feel. They might not have said anything, because that's what I'm clarifying, is like to live close by. Okay, that's a pressure. You feel like you wish you might live on the other side of the country, or you want to move to another state, but you're like, wow, you feel some pressure to live close by, or to attend the same church. Okay, how about that? That's a big one. You go to a church and maybe you guys don't really connect with the church, but and that's very common because a lot of churches are not intergenerational. They're more separated, and that's unfortunate because I would prefer a more intergenerational church. But maybe you go to a church and it fits better with your parents, okay, and your in-laws, and you don't feel the connection there, and you would like to try another church, right? You know what I'm talking about? Tell me if you understand. Drop a comment. So you might feel pressures. They might not say anything. They might even think that you're okay. But these are pressures that you feel to attend the same church, even though it doesn't quite minister to your needs. Pressures to help financially is another example. And again, in-laws might not have said anything, but still the couple feels some pressure, okay? Let's say you guys are doing really well and you see your in-laws struggling. That's kind of a sensitivity. So again, I'm not knocking it. I'm not, criticizing. I'm just saying these are the types of things that can lead to stress or anxiety or depression. Or you remember when we started this journey a long time ago, I talked about even like heart palpitations or sweating or, dry mouth and all of these things. They're symptoms of a phobia called socerophobia. I'm not making that up, okay? You can Google it. Socerophobia is a fear of in-laws or fear of parents, technically. But, not so much concerned about the technical definition, but you're just starting to feel symptoms of anxiety or panic attacks, or like, oh my goodness, mother-in-law is coming over, or father-in-law. And so I'm just giving examples how some of these stresses can be self-generated. We're on the topic of pressures and obligations, holidays, same church, finances, all these things without any fault to the in-laws can be self-generated. And so very complicated. In fact, as you continue, and let's say you are a older couple, you've been married for 10, 20 years, and what happens is everybody gets older. The parents get older, in-laws get older, your kids are now teenagers and so forth, and the whole dynamic changes. It's the same conversation on the table right now, which is, pressures and obligations, but they do change. Because when the kids were younger, the only pressures you felt were, sending the kids over, and you didn't even ask the kids, right? You just scheduled a day, and at the last minute, you're like, oh, let's go to grandma's, and you take them over. But as the kids get older, it just becomes more difficult because kids have homework, they have their schedules, and these stresses get even more because sending them over to grandma's is just not that easy. And so there's all kinds of pressures. I'm going to say that as you get to the later years, such as in your 40s and 50s, the stress is going to get even bigger, larger or wider, however way you want to describe it. Tell me if that's you, okay? Your stresses grow. And I'm thinking about a phrase or a nickname called the sandwich generation. And have you heard that? Okay, so sandwich generation refers to you guys in your 40s and 50s, because by that time, two things are happening. Okay, your children are getting older and your parents are aging as well. And so the sandwich generation is an analogy to say that you are, sandwiched between two pieces of bread. The bottom slice of bread represents, your kids and all of their needs. And as they grow older, there's more money involved, more attention, energy, resources, and all of that. And so there's stress that comes from the first slice of bread that represents your kids that are now older. Then there's another slice of bread on the top, which represents your aging parents. And, there was a time, maybe 10, 20 years ago, you were not as stressed, but now they're 20 years older, and they, in many ways, need a lot of attention, a lot of help. And in my case, my dad, he lost a lot of abilities as he grew older, and so it became very difficult for him to walk and even feed himself, and had to always put him in a wheelchair. And so these are stresses, and that represents the top slice of bread. Bottom slice is the kids growing older, and you feel stress from that, you feel stress from that, and you are the hot pastrami in the middle. And so that's the sandwich generation, meaning 40s and 50s and even 60s, you feel the stress of taking care of your kids while also sandwiched in between trying to take care of your parents as well. So my point is, none of this is the fault of the in-laws, right? It just comes with the time. It comes with the generation. It comes with life chapters. Tell me if you understand. Drop a comment and we can talk about it. So that just comes upon you, and so you feel like you're playing a new game, so different from the previous life chapters. And so, later on, I don't want to take too much time tonight, but later on I will talk about what the Bible says about material provision and helping aging parents. But right now I just want to, I'm just looking at the clock because I don't want to get sidetracked, and I want to just identify that being part of a sandwich generation, it's not easy. Okay, these are stresses just as come with the territory. And so again, I want to say, for the 10th time, this has nothing to do with or any fault of your in-laws, but these are kind of like self-generated, or kind of part of the situation that you are in. And then if we keep on going into the later life chapters, one of your parents or in-laws may pass away, and now you have to deal with widowhood. Okay, and so with all of that, lots going on. And I want to say, just to pay respects to the additional stress that is around the whole world right now because of the coronavirus, and how all of us are shut in. That it's not just the aging parents that are shut in, we're all shut in. And so this invisible enemy that is before us has caused additional stress. Everything from doing laundry for them to sanitizing everything. And, sometimes, and I don't want to generalize too much, but, you feel like you got to, put a little extra effort into showing you care, but then you're shut down, and there's concerns about spreading the disease as well, or the virus, I should say. And so with all of these things, it can add to stress that they had nothing to do with, okay? So that's the category. We're talking about stress, we're talking about anxieties, we're talking about a lot of things that are coming to you, and it had nothing to do with your parents or your in-laws, okay? And so that's what this is about, all right? So, you know what? I'm going to stop there for tonight. and looks like nobody's with me. I had a good time sharing something very important. And I want to stop here because, as I said, I want to make these videos retrievable. Make it easy for you. I promised you about 20 minutes or so. So it looks like we've got to about 20 minutes. So we achieved our goal. I thought of the word retrieve and achieve at the same time. Retrieve the video is what I would like for you to do as it becomes archived tonight. Underneath the unit category, in-laws. And this one will be about pressures and obligations. And next time, part of the rotation, we will talk more about that. And you guys can drop your comments. I hope you guys are okay. If you guys need some extra help, or you just need to talk to somebody, or this conversation about self-generated pressures and obligations, if this has resonated with you and you need to talk to somebody, you can contact me. Okay, just private message me, and we can set up a time to have just a conversation, and I can help you diagnose it. Okay, and give you some insight. And you should know that these videos are also archived inside YouTube. We have a channel there called Espresso, and that channel houses all of the Talk Live Tuesday conversations. So look for that. Type Espresso Pastor Tation, and I think you'll be able to find it, and hopefully subscribe. And that's another way if you prefer to watch it there. But just stay here inside Marriage Builders, and invite your friends to be part of it. This is a free community and a place where you can access all of those videos and be blessed by them. So anyway, I know that the virus is a dark cloud, and it's making life very difficult for us. I hope that you are safe. I hope that you're vigilant. I hope you haven't lost your dream and your vision, and I hope that you are kind to one another, and I hope that you can continue to nurture a peaceful relationship with your in-laws. All right, you guys, good evening to you all.
Thanks for joining us for a devotional drink today. If you love Espresso, click here to subscribe so you know when the next one is ready to enjoy. Visit our website for resources for every chapter of your life. And if you're thirsty for more, click here. See you next time. May God bless your day.